Peepsw here. Welcome back to another brand new video. And today we're doing the Tudor family tree from King Henry VII to Queen Elizabeth I. The story of his life, episode 11, will be next video. So guys, don't worry, that video will be coming out. Alright. And some Lake Compounds things. So in August, there will be a Bear Creek / Lake Compounds vlog. That's just some more updates. That will be an update video soon. So we're going to start off with the family tree. So this is the beginning. So King Henry VII, he had two sons, Arthur, Prince of Wales, and Henry VII, Henry VIII, and he had two daughters, Margaret and Mary, but they're not really important right now. So Arthur, Prince of Wales, was going to be the next king, but he died at the age of 15, and his widow married his second son, Henry. So Henry VII, and we're going to, so we're going to go to him. Henry VII's reign from 1485 to 1509. His spouse was Elizabeth of York. He had 4 children, Arthur, Henry, Margaret, and Mary. He had a 24-year reign for this thing, and he lived from 1557 to 1509. So, when he died, it went to his second eldest son, Henry VIII. Henry VIII was crowned in 1509, 1547. He had a 38-year reign. His wives were Catherine of Aragon, Anne Boleyn, Jane Seymour, Anne of Cleves, Catherine Howard, and Catherine Parr. He lived from 1486 to 1547, and he had 3 children, Mary, Elizabeth, and Edward. He married Catherine of Aragon, 1508, his brother's widow, but he divorced her in 1553 because the only child he could have with her was Mary, which was a girl. So they had no other children that really survived past the age of 4. So obviously he had to divorce Catherine, and he married a new woman and sent it to the Queen, Anne Boleyn. But Catherine wasn't going to give up her place in the fight, but Henry split from the Catholic Church and made his own church, Church of England, and became the new head and married Anne Boleyn. Anne Boleyn and Henry had a daughter, Elizabeth. Henry was not very happy with her, but he still loved her, and he didn't care if it was another daughter. She would just go out and marry a king. So Anne Boleyn ended up losing her head because enemies at court accused her of adultery with the king, and she was most likely innocent, but she was beheaded. And 11 days after Anne died, he married Jane Seymour, another servant. They married in 1536, and Henry had the son he always wanted, and Edward, who was going to be the next king after him. Unfortunately, Jane Seymour died in 1537 after childbirth after Edward, a couple days after he was born. So he had to marry. He waited 3 more years till he married his 4th wife, Anne of Cleves, who he didn't really like that much. They were really more of a friend. It was more of a friendship than an actual marriage relationship. He couldn't consummate the marriage, so he divorced her and made Anne his sister of the king, kind of like that, like a sister, like a friend-ish. So that's why they were kind of more friends. So they didn't have any kids together, and they married in January of 1540 and divorced in July of 1540. And a couple days after he divorced Anne, he married Catherine Howard, a 15-year-old girl, and Henry VIII was 48 years old. That was pretty weird. They were together from 1540 to 1542 when it was obvious that she was adultering, because who wants to date a 50-year-old king? Ew. So she lost her head at the Tower of London, and so did her lovers. So it wasn't easy being queen then, those days. So, a year after Catherine Howard's execution, which was in 1542, he married Catherine Parr, who was a published author at the time, and she was pretty interesting. She was a nurse to the king's wound, who he got when he was with Anne Boleyn, and they miscarried their second child. So he died in 1547, and Catherine Parr was free from the king. She married Jane Seymour's brother, Edward Seymour, and died in childbirth. So Anne of Cleves got the best deal. After Henry died, it went to his only son, Edward, who became king at the age of 9. He only reigned until he was 15. He only had a 6-year reign from 1547 to 1553. He lived from 1537 to 1553. He had no spouse, no children, and died at 15. Making way to his half-sister, Mary I. Yes, Lady Jane Grey was queen, but I didn't mention her in this because that would have been another piece of the family tree, so I just didn't do that. So her reign was 1553 to 1558. She married Philip II of Spain, her cousin. She had no children, and her short 5-year reign, her name was also Bloody Mary, because she burned Protestants. So that was not very good. Her short 5-year reign, she had no children because she had some cancer that really didn't help, so she died, and she was heartbroken when Philip didn't love her. And he married somebody else. Sorry, Mary. And then her half-sister, Elizabeth, became queen in 1558 after the death of her half-sister. She was queen until 1603 with a 44-year reign of luxurious beauty, and she won against the Spanish. The English won against the Spanish in a war. So Elizabeth wore beautiful clothing, and she loved her mother and she loved her father. She didn't marry because her father killed her mother, beheaded her, so that's why she never married. She had no children, and after Elizabeth, people wondered who would be the next king of England, but to the family tree, go back to the family tree. It was Henry VII's first child, his daughter's great-grandson, James VI, and James VI of Scotland, who became James I of England. And that was that. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'm going to make more. I'm going to finish my presidential things soon. So see you guys then. Bye.